Look at
Yes,
your
we can
right.
start with speaking.
Speaking. Okay, fantastic. So let's just do a speaking very quickly.
Sure.
Can you describe your home for me?
I live in 2 BHK apartment in Kalpuruk Society, which is in Mumbai, with my family. And I have like 2 bedrooms. That is, and also along with a living room and a kitchen. And to the fun point is like the attraction point for me is the balcony which we have attached to our living room. And as we had our flat on the 5th floor, so we get a scenic view from the top floor. So I enjoy that view from while having a cup of tea in the evening. I also planted some indoor plants, and there are also some plants which I have which we call as a vertical garden, which I have set up in the balcony.
Let's talk about flowers then.
Yeah.
Do you like to have flowers in your home?
Yes, I have 3 to 4 flower plants in my house. The most beautiful and the most beautiful flower which I like is the rose, and it's a red rose because the smell of the rose is like extravagant.
To complete your sentence properly, the smell of the rose is very good or very pleasing.
Okay, please.
Yeah, it's very important. And it's not actually the smell, you can say the scent is even better word.
Scent.
Because smell will also work in this situation. The scent will be better word. The smell or the scent of the rose is very pleasing. So I really kind of like it very much. So you can say it like that. Okay. Okay, we have net interference from there. Okay, you're back. So where would you go to buy flowers?
Sorry.
Where would you go to buy flowers?
There's a shop nearby my area, which is like half a kilometer away from my house. The shop name is Ferns and Petals. You get a various flower over there. So you can have the roses over there, then the all the kinds of flowers over there. So I prefer buying roses because my mother likes them.
On what occasions would you give someone flowers?
Recently there was an occasion of the Father's Day, so I gifted my father a rose along with a small gift. So he actually liked it very much because he is also fond of flowers, and he likes yellow roses. So I gifted him the same.
It's a little bit out of the context of the question. You have to be completely coherent with the question. The question is, on what occasions would you give someone flowers? So you must focus on the occasions only. You did say on one occasion, and then you went into the detail of what kind of flower they like. So instead of that, keep focused on the occasions only. This kind of occasion, a lot of people give flowers, and there are also other kind of occasions, and I mentioned the occasions only. Okay, so they really like to hear the answer based on what they're asking. That's called coherency. You already know about fluency. You're already pretty fluent, but we also like to be coherent in our responses in speaking. They don't want unnecessary talk, which is going out of the relevancy of the topic. They will simply say the student is not 100% perfect in English. That's why he's going out of the way to talk. So let's do this question again. On what occasions would you give someone flowers?
So usually there are different kinds of occasions, and in India there are various kinds of festivals. So mostly people, and I prefer buying the flowers are on the Diwali, then Dasera, And then when there are small festivals or when there are the birthday celebrations. So for decoration purpose, in birthday, we use those flowers.
Right. So that's very important. Make sure you just speak to the point.
Yeah.
Are flowers important in your culture?
Yes, definitely they are important in our culture because they bring the colors to our life, because there are various kinds of flowers and there are many occasions being celebrated in India. So people use lots of flowers in the different occasions. Like if the flowers are like used for decorating the house, or like if we purchase something new, or some new house or new car, so we decorate it by using the flowers. And some people also find it as an auspicious by decorating the new things by marigold flower.
Yeah, okay, let's go to the cue card part. Now,
Sure.
the cue card today is describe a meeting you remember going to at work, college, or school. You should say when and where the meeting was held, who was at the meeting, what the people at the meeting talked about, and explain why you remember going to this meeting. I'm definitely going to show it to you on your screen just now
Sure.
so that you can given proper 1 minute time and then you can talk about it. So let's look at it. There's the cue card on your screen coming up in just a second, right? It's there now.
Yes. Yes.
So you got 1 minute from now. Prepare. Okay, done. Can you speak now?
Yes.
Okay, start.
So the meeting I remember is like recently we had a meeting in my office. The meeting was usually was scheduled on the 12th floor, but the venue was changed on the last moment, and the meeting was held at a small auditorium on the 12th floor. The meeting was the meeting for the meeting there were the 8 team members being invited along with my team leader. But to the surprise element, for the surprise element to the meeting was my manager also came at the last moment and said that he will also be attending the meeting. We were not prepared to present the meeting scenarios to my manager in front of the manager. But as the manager was manager had decided to be a part of the meeting, so we proceeded with the meeting. Usually the meeting was the agenda of the meeting was to less down the mundane work which we were doing into the office for the day-to-day activities. So we were having a plan of bringing the ERP system and doing the automation system or preparing the bot for doing the mundane work, so that the time of the team members can be utilized for some other work. So every each and every person or each and every member of the team had given his or her point of opinion and how they can contribute to it. So I, and along with my peer named Dishang, we presented the whole presentation to our TL along with the manager. They quite liked the presentation. There were some points which needed to be rectified, so we jot down the minutes of the meetings and we told them that we will be coming up with the solutions to these questions or some of the ambiguities they were having. After the presentation, my team leader was like enlightened with my presentation, and the surprise thing was like I was not prepared to present it in front of my manager, but manager also like uploaded the presentation. He said that I presented it in a quite different manner, which he quite liked it. So he was quite delighted. The comment came from the team members like the scenario or the system which we were working on was like we were having a futuristic goal. So he said, so the team member said that the preparation of the bot would be quite helpful. The meeting I am able to still remember the meeting because uh, I presented it because I presented it when I was not prepared to be presenting the meeting. Also, the appreciation I got from the manager, and there were lots of brainstorming sessions being happened in the meeting. So that was the point where I got some knowledge from my team members as well as from the manager. Thank you.
Fantastic. It's pretty good because you already spoke more than 2 minutes, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was well over 2 minutes according to the time. So that's good. And there's a lot of good grammar in it, not much of a problem. You could have said in quite different manners, but in a hurry, you missed the in and you just said quite different manner. It's almost right. So, other than that, there weren't much of any grammar concerns. You're giving me quite a bit of vocabulary in it, like enlightening and all those things which you use. And I think you did cover up all the points when and where the meeting was held. Who was at the meeting? Did you say that?
Yes, team members, TL manager.
Yeah, yeah, the manager was there, and yeah, okay, what the people at the meeting talked about. Okay, fine. I think you covered it up. Let's go to part three of these questions and see how you fare up there.
Sure.
First of all, I want to talk to you about going to meetings. Ready?
Okay, yes.
What are the different types of meeting that people often go to?
Usually, as I remember, there are only two types of meetings: formal meeting and informal meeting. The informal meeting are the kinds of meetings which we have with our family members or with the friends, where we meet them outside and have a proper or improper discussion or have a funny moment over there and discuss some new things which we are going to do. But there are some formal meetings which we are a part when we work in the corporate. So the formal meeting requires a lot of preparation and we need to talk to the point, and there should not be any nonsense talks from our side that will be affecting our performance or our image.
Again, your answer is good enough, although you could have said when we are in the corporate sector would be better, or when we are in a corporate company. You just said when we are in the corporate. So it is still understood, but really too much cutting in words not really allowed. So all that happens is you get a little bit less score. You don't get the high end 8.59 band. Again, like I said, some of the technical things, if you look at the questions on flowers on the screen, where would you go to buy flowers? Is like one question where instantly I would say I would go to the florists which are near me and then continue describing as you were describing that I go to buy, or my parents or my mother always goes to buy flowers from there. Although your answer is suitable, but words like florist definitely will come out from a English person very easily, whereas you did not speak florist, although you did say flower shop and all that, which is fine. So in the same way, in this context, use corporate, but you did not use corporate sector. So I'm just showing you why you're not going to get a high 9 or 8.5 band level right now, because you're missing that open and easily talk of the words. However, words are already great and they're already improving. So I want you to continue it that way. Let me just ask you another question about going to meetings first. You just keep talking the way you're talking. Do not worry about what I just said too much.
Sure. Yeah.
Some people say that no one likes to go to meetings. What do you think?
Yeah, many people are shy of attending the meeting because like they are not habitual, because they are not used in attending the meetings. This should not be the culture, because in meeting we are able to present our knowledge, and based on our knowledge we are being judged. So the shyness should be kept apart and everyone should attend the meeting.
It sometimes be important to go to meetings.
Sorry.
Why can it be sometimes important to go to meetings?
Attending the meeting is important because we get to know what was the agenda of the meeting and what were the minutes of the meetings, like what were the decisions being taken in the meeting, and according to the decisions and the future plans we can act on it. So it's important to attend those meetings, and also if there is some opinion from our side, we can give the opinion, and based on if the board of the if the members of the meeting like the opinion, they will definitely applaud us, and that would be a great thing for us in the performance as well.
Let's talk about international meetings. Why do you think world leaders often have meetings together?
The world leaders have been meeting often meetings together because they are able to discuss, or they get the time to discuss what's going on in their world or in their country. So what was the scenario, or what was the work being delayed, why was the work being delayed? So they are able to track those points and work on it, and so that they can so the performance of the company won't be affected. And the board members of the company are located at different parts of the world, so they should be having international meetings once in or twice in a week.
Difficulties might be involved in organizing meetings between world leaders.
Sorry.
What possible difficulties might be involved in organizing meetings between world leaders?
The first and the foremost difficult thing is the internet connection, because the world leaders can't meet at one point each and every virtual meetings, and they are adapted to the virtual meetings, but there are some scenarios where the connection won't be working. And the other thing is that each and every member of the each and every member of the meeting who is attending the meeting won't be having the exact amount of data, so the data which they need to present also plays an important role in having the meeting.
One more question. Do you think that meetings between international leaders will become more frequent in the future? Or will there be less need for world leaders to meet?
It now only it has become more frequent because of the pandemic situation. Everyone is attending the meetings from
Everyone is attending
from
meetings?
home. So in future, virtual meetings, and in future also it will be the same scenario where the meetings would be where there will be for more frequent virtual meetings, and the people will be used in attending them.
So that's pretty good. You did fairly well. You did finish all the questions. That's what is very important. In fact, I fumbled in asking you in the last question, but you still quickly answered it. That shows you what your current level is. So we are improving greatly in speaking. I'm very pleased with that. If you keep on working that, you'll get a really good score. Let's talk about something else right now. I think you have concerns with writing, reading, or listening. So what shall we talk about right now? What's your concern?
We can work on this writing task which I have sent, and then I have reading questions.
Okay, then you have reading questions. So let's have a look at what your writing task is on the screen.
Sure.
You just sent it to me right now, so I did not get any time at all. Have a look at it. I'm just going to look at it right now. And in front of you on the screen, we're going to see what exactly it is about. So I think it's straightened up. Is this yours?
Yes, it's mine.
Is this yours? No.
No, it's mine.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this one is yours, but it is bent. So I'm going to have to fix it. Yeah, there it
Before
is.
that also there's a one page.
Okay, there it is. Anyways, so no, hold on a second. Let me just rotate it and set it right. Drop it out a little bit. Too much.
There is one more page to it.
Yeah, there is one more page. For that one, we can go straight into the WhatsApp. I just want to get this on the screen, full screen, so that, okay, this is the second page. So we have to go to the WhatsApp. Let's go first to your other page, which is this one.
Yes.
Great. Now, this is the task one that you've submitted just now. The horizontal bar charts present the data about the production and consumption of electricity in billions of kilowatt for 10 different countries in 20K. What's that you have written? 20K?
14.
Okay, in 2014, ranked from 1 to 10. Generally speaking, China ranked number 1 as the production and consumption of electricity were the highest among 9 other countries. So as the production, kiski production, you have to specify it clearly, as the production in their country and consumption, or as in their country, the production and consumption of electricity. So I would say that something here is technically missing. That should be like as in the product, as in their country, the production and consumption of electricity were the highest. If you have it in front of you, you quickly jolt
Yes,
it
I
down
understand.
and you can correct it later.
Yes.
As in their country, the production and consumption of electricity were the highest amongst 9 other countries, being 5398 and 5322 respectively. Okay, so you are saying 5398 was production and 5322 consumption, right?
Yes, right.
Right, then it is right. The second highest production and consumption was in the United States. So this is writing. Was is a little bit formal type. I mean, it's good. I mean, we have to write was sometimes. But I want you to change and mostly write were in your task 1 particularly, and also in your task 2 in your writings. Were is very demanding, and were is also a plural of was. So it will help you no matter what response you are giving to make the response better. Let's have a look at it in this line itself. Which line? We are talking about this line only. This was here. So let's look at it. The second highest production and consumption were in the United States. See how amplified your answer becomes. The second highest production and consumption. Why were? Notice carefully. You're talking about two things, production and consumption. So why was? It's better to put a were. So I would just cut that out and put were in there. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You can see it sounds better. Already you're talking about two things already. And not only that, later on, you're also going to talk about numbers and other things which are more than one. So was is clearly not as suitable as were is. However, I must say at the same time, was is also right here. However, they're not going to give you higher bands if you continue writing with was. They will prefer were. So the correct sentence is the second highest production and consumption were in the United States, being 1499 and 3866 respectively. Again, 1499 should be production and 3866 should be consumption. Substantially less than China. So that's a good thing you put a comma there, otherwise your whole line would go wrong. In the remaining 8 countries, there was a significant, now here was is perfect. So you can leave it as it is, or you can still change it if you want and put a verb because your sir has told you to concentrate on verb. In the remaining 8 countries, there are 8. So definitely we can put verb. In the remaining 8 countries, there were a significant drop in production would also suit, but here there was is like kind of perfect because you're only talking about a significant drop. So was perfectly matches there. In the remaining 8 countries, there was a significant drop in production as well as consumption, but you do not give me the detail why. Maybe later we'll do that. The production and usage were, that's a good one, use were. The production and usage were almost, now we go to the other page, yes?
Yes.
And come to this page. Oh, sorry. Nope. There it is. And the production was the same in Russia, being 1070 57 and 1080 38 respectively. Now 1057 किसके लिए और 1038 किसके लिए?
Production and consumption.
Let's check. The production and usage were
Yes.
almost. Good thing you're using another word, usage for consumption. It's a nice idea. Were the same in Russia, being 1057 and 1038 respectively. Okay, so we're still talking about production and consumption. Just checking whether you are writing your respectively correctly. In India, there was a major difference in production and consumption of approximately 172 billions of kilowatt hour. The production being 871 billion kilowatt hour. In Canada, France, Brazil, I think you misspelled Brazil. No, it is there. Brazil, Germany, and Korea. Okay, please don't cut their words. Write republic, or they will think you don't know the spelling of republic. Show them you know the spelling of republic.
Okay.
Korea Republic, there was only a slight difference in both the production. So whenever you are describing data, make sure you focus on verb. Whenever you are not describing data, then you can put was, but mostly in your writing, were is a very powerful tool than was. However, some lines automatically was. Just be more conscious about it. There was only a slight difference in both the production as well as consumption. Canada being at the top amongst them. In Canada, slight difference in both production being at the top amongst them. Okay, that's perfectly right. Whereas the consumption in Germany surpassed the production as the usage was 582.5 billion kilowatt hour and production being only 526.6 billion kilowatt hour. Okay, that's fine. Any mistakes you noticed, you should correct it right away. To conclude, China had the highest production as well as the consumption of electricity, whereas Germany was the only country where usage was more than the production electricity. Fantastic. Okay, that's pretty good. Now you know that you're writing a conclusion over here, right? Which is also good. But as far as the conclusion is given, if your graph is automatically pointing out that one side is producing more electricity automatically with just one look, then you can also put the same thing early on as an overview in the starting.
Okay.
Where is it? Right here in the overview. Instead of starting with generally speaking over here, right? You can just start with as an overview and then give whatever you're going to give in the conclusion in the first line, because your graph is clearly pointing that this is happening. I'm not sure if this is happening in this situation. I'm not saying you should do that in this situation. It is perfectly fine as it is. If you don't know where to put your overview, you might as well put it in the conclusion. Okay, so it is possible for you to put your overview right here in the front. As an overview, it can be seen that China is the number one. Okay, then you don't have to pay too much attention in giving the conclusion, or you can give a simple different line conclusion. Overall, this writing task is very good, and there aren't any comma mistakes, there aren't any punctuation mistakes. There was slight weakness on were, but it was very less because most of the time you are using were. Okay, it's pretty good, but why did you not submit me writing task 2?
I didn't get the time.
You didn't get the time. So whenever you do get the time, you will correct that writing task 2.
Yeah.
I will repeat that one also. And we're done with the writing part. But make sure when I'm correcting it on screen like this, usually I give you the corrections, then you can work it out later. Make sure you do correct those mistakes on your notebook so that you
Sure.
have a neat copy whenever you read. You can see
Yes.
this is how writing should be, not the wrong way. Very few mistakes there. So if you wrote writing task 2 like that, also you would have a good opportunity to get a higher band. Okay.
Okay.
Only two things I do. Sorry, where am I on the screen? Not there. Only two things I want you to mainly focus on your writing is like, this is a formal writing, so I'm going to use more words like were rather than was, or any other words which I tell you, particularly on your punctuation, which you already covered this time, because thank God I told you last time and the time before, and you are now focusing on that. There were no punctuation mistakes for me to correct. That's a number one thing. Why? Why? Because super important for you particularly. You're scoring easily 7, 7.5, or even higher in your speaking. Why you would want to score 6.5 only in writing? That's because if one comma goes wrong, like I told you, one full stop, one punctuation, one semicolon, any type of punctuation goes wrong, they are going to hold your bands to 6.5. I'm not going to give you that 7, 7.5 level, which you already have and which you are already showing in your writing. So they're not going to give it to you because they don't want punctuation mistakes. That's their rule. They don't want that punctuation mistakes. You covered that brilliantly. If you showed me also writing task 2 had no punctuation mistakes, you were up to 7 or 7.5, which is what you need in writing. Writing is the number one problem for every Indian student here. Okay?
Yes.
So you continue doing that. I think it will be great. So let's look at what else do you want me to look at? Reading or something else?
Reading test 10, task 1.
Reading task 1. Okay, did you do it? You didn't submit it.
No, that was earlier. There are some questions which I need a help on.
Okay, which you need to know on that reading.
Yes.
Let's take a look at which reading you're talking about.
10 test 1.
10 test 1.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull that up
Sure.
on screen over here. So what do you want to know about that test? Tell me. Ask me your question.
There is question like we need to read the passage from paragraph A to I, and we need to find the list of the headings.
Sorry, paragraph to 8. Why? You mean headings?
Yes, headings. List of headings.
List of headings. Okay, that is reading passage 2 you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
So what do you want to know about that?
how I need to tackle these questions because I'm usually getting this wrong.
Okay, usually you're getting these ones wrong. All right. I am going to show you to you how this one is.
Yes. So we need to read the paragraph and how to summarize in kind of the headings we need to choose.
Yeah. So let's look at paragraph A. First of all, if you have the book or PDF in
Yes.
front of you, it
Yes.
says, let me open up the PDF also in front of you. Maybe I can do that. Okay, I think it's this one. I'm not so sure. Yeah, there it is. It's on screen. Let me show it to you on screen. I gotta get myself out there. We are looking at these questions, and these are the paragraphs. Paragraph A to I, and your question is, how am I going to do these paragraphs headings, which is this
Yes.
part, right?
No question. Yes, this part.
Yeah. So for example, when we are doing paragraph A, we obviously, we will go, how will we do it? Can you tell me? Can you guess?
I'm trying to read the first and the last line and trying to judge the answer, but not able to successfully do it.
Okay. One quick look at it will tell me I'm in reading passage 2. So it's not as easy as reading passage 1. When the headings
Yes.
are in reading passage 1, they're usually straightforward. So you deal with them in any way and you get the answers. But these are in passage 2. But thank God they're not in passage 3, or they would be even tougher than they are right now. One more glimpse at the whole passage, and I see that some paragraphs are pretty big, while some paragraphs, almost all of them, are similar in size. Like particularly paragraph C is big. So it depends upon student to student. Some students can read very fast. They would say this is moderate. Some would say these are pretty big. Some would say like paragraph B is small, but paragraph C is big. So if the paragraph is as small as B, you can very fast read in your brain only once, very fast, and then pick a heading and give it a heading, go straight away to the next questions. Remember, you do not have time, so you cannot read it twice. If the paragraph is way too big, like if you think paragraph C is very big, then what you would do, then you would apply the method you just applied, reading 1 or 2 or 3 lines, going to the last line, reading it very fast in your brain, and whatever you understood from it, you go straight to your questions and just pick one heading. I'm going to pick this one. That's it. You don't even worry whether it's right or wrong. Okay, now, as an example, I'm going to show you paragraph A. Now, normally the reading is done inside the brain, but right now I'm going to show you how fast as a student I would be reading in my brain, maybe even skipping some words to read it very fast. I know I have time limit situation. I'm going to show it to you just now. But when you have headings, you cannot ignore headings. So European Transport Systems 90 to 2010 is extremely important. Make sure you read that. What have been the trends and what are the prospects for European transport systems? That's what we're talking about. Then go straight to paragraph A and read it as fast as I can inside my brain, and I'm going to just answer it. So I'm going to read it something like this. It's difficult to conceive of vigorous economic growth without an efficient transport system. The modern information technologies can be used to physical transport by facilitating services, the requirement of transportation. Factors behind this passenger transport, determining factors expected. Both cars, the number of cars is increases 3 million each year overnight, and the next decade you will see further substantial. So I get a fairly good picture on my mind what the paragraph is talking about because I read it very fast. Then I go straight to my headings while it is still fresh in my mind. Of course, right now I am taking time to explain, so it's going to be a little bit tougher. and I choose one by one what this heading is more or less talking about. Okay. Oh, that screen has come up. So let me just, decrease this size a little bit. Then this thing won't interfere with me. So is it talking about a fresh and important long-term goal? No, not really. Changing for roads and improving other transport methods, charges affecting the distance, maybe taking all the steps necessary to change transport the environment, cost to road transport, the escalating cost of, rail transport. I'm gonna have to make this a little bit more smaller to show it to you on the screen. There we are. Now it's much better. The rapid growth of private transport, plans to develop measures. I immediately stop at the rapid growth of, because I remember they were talking that it's increasing and in future also they will be increasing. That's what I read in the whole paragraph. In the paragraph I saw they were increasing. So my brain stops at 8. I just tick 8 or mark 8, or even better, in your case, I will go and put 8 here as the answer in paragraph A's line and forget about it. So do you see how it's done?
Okay, so we
You
need
have to read this paragraph super fast in your brain now. Now in slow motion, of course, I can show you how I did it. When I read it, I read the number of cars, saw an increase of 3 billions. And in the next decade, further substantial increase. You see that? Although modern infrastructure can reduce the demand for physical transport, their requirement for transport continues to increase. Everywhere I found that they were talking about transport increase. So that kind of led me to believe that it must be 8 as the answer.
Okay.
Among those headings. And if I'm not wrong, that's probably how it's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to stop this, show it back to you. But it doesn't matter. You can't go back to the question. What I'm saying is that the student must read that paragraph only once, never go back to read it second time. Go back and read the headings, choose one heading, don't even read the headings a second time. Whatever you chose is probably your best guess, and leave it there, whether it is 8 or 6 or whatever. Obviously, it can't be 6. There was no cost. I didn't read any cost issues. Obviously, it isn't number 5, the environmental costs. There was no cost and there was no environment. So why would I choose that? I read all the headings and my mind only got stuck at the rapid growth of private transport. So I chose 8. I didn't even bother reading questions further. Plans to develop major road network restricting roads. They're not there. I'm done. I'm not going to waste my time because sir has told me headings are the most difficult part for any students. So please do not waste time on them, or they can take all your time and then you don't have time left for questions where you can really get very good score. So to avoid that, you will read the paragraph super fast in your brain once only, go to the questions, pick a heading, forget it, go to next question, paragraph B. Okay, so right now, can you read paragraph B very fast in your mind?
Yes.
Then we will go to the heading. Or let me read it for you, and then you can also judge it at the same time. As far as goods transport is concerned, growth is due to a large extent to changes in the European economy and its system of production. In the last 20 years, as internal frontiers have been abolished, the EU has moved from a stock economy to a flow economy. This phenomenon has been emphasized by the relocation of some industries, particularly those which are labor intensive, to reduce production costs, even though the production site is hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away from the final assembly plant or away from issues. This is definitely the smallest paragraph, so you would want to read the whole paragraph in one quick go. But rule number 1 in heading, do not read it again. कितना भी आपको दिल करे दोबारा एक लाइन नहीं पढ़नी, अगर आपने उसमें पढ़ी ना तो माय फ्रेंड डेफिनेटली आपकी हेडिंग स्ट्रांग होगी बिकॉज यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग द रूल. अब इसमें सीधा जाओ और जो भी आपको समझ में आया है उस पैराग्राफ से, सो उसमें से एक हेडिंग्स आप इसमें चूज कर सकते हो. कौन सी लगती है? फ्रेश एंड इंपॉर्टेंट लॉन्ग टर्म गोल, चार्जिंग फॉर रोड्स एंड इंप्रूविंग अदर ट्रांसपोर्ट मेथड्स, changes affecting the distances goods may be transport. Yeah, इसमें मुझे डेफिनेटली चेंजेस की बात सुनाई दी थी. डिस्टेंसेस आया था और ट्रांसपोर्ट आया था। देखो मेरे 3 कीवर्ड्स आगे। अब पता नहीं यार, मुझे तो पैराग्राफ भी याद नहीं है। मैं जान के प्रिटेंड कर रहा हूँ कि मैं वो स्टूडेंट हूँ जिसे अच्छी तरह से पैराग्राफ याद नहीं है, बट उसे ये याद है कि उस चेंजेस आया था, डिस्टेंस आया था, ट्रांसपोर्ट आया था। 3 कीवर्ड इस हेडिंग में से आ गए हैं, तो मैं इस हेडिंग को चूज करूं या दूसरी हेडिंग को चूज करता हूं, देखते हैं। टेकिंग ऑल द स्टेप्स नेसेसरी टू चेंज ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम पैटर्न्स, इसमें चेंज आया है बट डिस्टेंस नहीं आया, और ट्रांसपोर्ट तो डेफिनेटली है। द एनवायरमेंटल कॉस्ट नहीं आया, द एस्केलेटिंग कॉस्ट नहीं आया, द नीड टू अचीव ट्रांसपोर्ट रीबैलेंस, द रैपिड ग्रोथ, प्लान्स टू डेवलप, रिस्ट्रिक्टिंग रोड यूज, ट्रांसपोर्ट ट्रेंड्स, एंड आई एम डन। मैं चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, मेरे 3 ही आए हुए हैं, सर ने बता दिया अगर आपका कुछ भी मैच होता है तो वहीं लगा। So do not waste time. You will go to
Okay.
paragraph B here and just write your answer 3 and move on to the next question, whether it is right or not. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how you're gonna do it, my friend. It's a little bit of practice. काफी इसमें
Yes.
headings में आपको practice चाहिए होगी, but practice का भी time नहीं है. You have to do it like this only. Practice में एक ही है. Rule number 1: don't break it in headings. एक ही बारी, कुछ कितना भी हो, एक ही बारी आपने यहाँ से यहाँ तक पैराग्राफ पढ़ना है, वो भी सुपर फास्ट इन योर ब्रेन, साइलेंटली विद माउथ क्लोज्ड. दैट इज व्हेन the brain captures a lot of words and a lot of important detail. If you speak from your mouth any words, sara paragraph gaya. I'm telling you seriously. Once you have done that, you don't go back to it. You go only read your answer headings, then just choose one. Okay?
Okay.
For example, अभी आप मुझे पैराग्राफ सी करके दिखाओ. Okay?
Yes.
बहुत फास्ट इसे अभी ऑन द स्क्रीन पढ़ो, और देन आई विल शो यू हेडिंग्स और आपने चूज
Sure.
करना. रीड.
Okay. Headings.
Okay, now you're ready for the headings, so you go straight to the headings. These are your headings. Read and decide which one you're going to pick.
It might be fourth.
Might be 4. Okay, your answer is 4. Mine is slightly different. We're going to see which one is going to be right just now and why. So I have chosen 11 because it felt like they were talking about transport trends. They were talking about increase in some transport. They were talking about decrease in some transport. They were giving a lot of data about 1990s and transport trends in countries awaiting EU admission was talked about. You chose 4. Why did you choose 4? Taking all the steps necessary to change transport patterns. Because you thought कि इसमें बहुत सारे steps की, necessary steps की बात हो रही है जिसमें change of transport patterns की. Either way, जैसे भी होगा, we have both done it within the 1 minute time frame. So time wise, we are perfect. Our number one target is time, not whether we get the headings right or wrong. So this is how I want you to do it. Technically, you are on the right point. Now we're going to check in slow motion what this paragraph is talking about. So if we look at here, we're talking about EU. I saw there EU, and I remember there was EU mentioned. So if I look here, it says the EU here. The strong economic growth expected in countries which are candidates for entry to the EU. Always first line is very important. also increased transport for a particular haulage dealers, and although many candidate countries inherited a transport between modes and between 1990 member states. So you can see they were talking about some sort of admission with the EU. That is why I chose my answer as number 11. Also, when I was choosing, yeah, in this case was a little bit difficult, but I also did another thing which you probably did not do, which you must know now. I made sure that okay, so there it is. Let me get rid of this first. All right, now there it is. So I made sure I was crossing out in my mind कि ये वाला आंसर नहीं हो सकता, ये वाला आंसर नहीं हो सकता. I was crossing it in my mind, no? Fresh and imported ना, इसकी तो बात ही नहीं हुई. Changing for roads ना, changing affecting the ना. I was just doing ना. So I was like, I am not even getting the answer. And when I reached 6, 7, I knew it was troublesome. I'm not really getting what they are talking about in here. The need to achievement, rebalance the rapid growth. No, there wasn't any such thing in the talk in this. Plans to develop restricting road use through changing. But when I reached the last one, I knew मुझे लग रहा था कि ये क्वेश्चन मेरे हाथ से डेफिनेटली गया. पर जब मैंने लास्ट वाला पढ़ा तो आई रेड ट्रांसपोर्ट ट्रेंड्स इन कंट्रीज अवेटिंग ईयू एडमिशन. इमीडिएटली मेरे माइंड को आ गया ये सारे तो मेरे लिए हैं ही नहीं. अगर कोई हो सकता है इनमें तो ये लास्ट वाले में ईयू भी आया है, ट्रेंड्स भी आया है, कंट्रीज भी आया है, ट्रांसपोर्ट भी आया है. मुझे लग रहा है यही वाला है. तो मैंने उसी वक्त सबको ना कर दिया और इसी को टिक कर दिया, डन. और मैंने यहाँ पे अपने पैराग्राफ सी का आंसर 11 लिख दिया. सो दैट्स ऑल्सो अनदर थिंग व्हेन यू आर रीडिंग हेडिंग. आप अपने माइंड में क्रॉस कर ये नहीं हो सकता, ये नहीं हो सकता और काटी जाओ और भागी जाओ आगे, भागी जाओ. ये हो सकता है. नंबर 11 बैंग पुट इट इन देयर. इट्स ऑल अबाउट प्रैक्टिस. डू नॉट वरी, ये वाला आपका रॉन्ग गया. बाय द वे आई थिंक दिस इज रॉन्ग फॉर यू ऑल्सो. आई एम राइट. इट्स गोइंग टू बी डेफिनेटली द वे आई एम सेइंग. ऑल्सो अगर आपने फर्स्ट लाइन पढ़ी होती तो फर्स्ट लाइन में, अब फर्स्ट लाइन वाला कीवर्ड्स वाला बैठक इसमें जो डेफिनेटली होता है क्योंकि ईयू हमें आया है और इसमें कैंडिडेट्स आए हैं तो एडमिशन की बात हो रही है. किसी स्ट्रॉन्ग इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ एक्सपेक्टेड इन कंट्रीज विच आर कैंडिडेट्स फॉर एंट्री. देखो एंट्री एडमिशन हो गई. टू द ईयू विल ऑल्सो इंक्रीज ट्रांसपोर्ट फॉर इन पर्टिकुलर रोड हॉलेज ट्रैफिक. अगर मैं फर्स्ट लाइन वाला पढ़ के स्टूडेंट की तरह कर रहा हूँ, सॉरी मैंने इसे काट ही दिया. Then too, I get the answer. So you get the idea. You have to practice this one. Really, you have to practice these headings only this way. Please, I recommend you decide first of all looking at the paragraph length. If it's too big for you, then you just read 1 or 2 lines at the top. That's it. Answer. नीचे वाली भी पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं. अगर ज्यादा ही आपको पढ़ना है तो नीचे वाली एक लाइन पढ़ ली. अगर आपको लगता है कि इसका आंसर नीचे होगा तो पैराग्राफ. देन that is second strategy. First strategy is अगर आप studious kind of हो, बहुत fast पढ़ सकते हो जैसे मैंने आपको पढ़ के दिखाया mind में, then you read the whole paragraph in one quick go but only once. चाहे आप एक लाइन पढ़ो, चाहे 2 लाइन पढ़ो, चाहे पूरा पैराग्राफ पढ़ो, पढ़ना एक ही बारी में है. Super fast, silently in your brain with your mouth closed. That's the way brain picks it up. Then go and choose one heading. You are going to soon get it right, even if you don't start getting it right. You're going to get more right than you will get wrong. Okay? Fine? You will keep applying this method into the headings until you get it. And don't bother about heading so much. Maximum wrongs come in heading. You go straight to the next questions. Right? So we're out of time right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about this next time. You can keep your questions rolling. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you another reading and listening, and you can focus on that one also.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
I'll see you on Friday and Saturday.
Friday.
All right. You take care and have a good time. Okay.
Have a good. Bye.
Okay. You too. Bye.